Welcome to 5 Minutes Crypto. Today is May 23, 2025. And all right, buckle up because Bitcoin just pulled a fast one, smashing its all-time high and grabbing headlines everywhere.
Huge news, really. Sets a certain tone for the day.
Definitely. So before we dive into the why and what else is shaking up the market, here's a quick quiz for you. According to our sources today, what was that specific new all-time high price Bitcoin hit?
Good one. Keep that number handy.
Yeah, keep it rattling around as we, cut through the noise. We'll give you the key crypto news from today's sources, get you up to speed fast.
What a day, huh? We've got some real peaks and, well, unfortunately, some serious valleys to cover too.
Okay, let's jump straight into the big one then. Bitcoin setting that new record.
Right. Sources confirm it soared past its previous peak, the one from January 20th. It hit a fresh all-time high, just north of $109,400.
Wow, $109,400. That's a pretty significant climb.
It really is. And the why behind it feels, I don't know, maybe a bit different this time.
How?
Well, we've seen a hefty 46% rally just since April. But the real fuel seems to be these massive inflows into spot Bitcoin ETFs. We're talking like $3.6 billion net in May alone.
3.6 billion. Okay, that's serious capital.
Exactly. And it's not just, retail traders dusting off their wallets either.
Right.
We're seeing major moves from big players, treasury firms like Strategy, formerly MicroStrategy, you know them, and 21 Capital.
Ah, the institutional side. So their buying adds that layer of kind of baseline demand. Feels more solid than just speculation.
I think so. And you can't ignore the backdrop of regulatory signals either. There are some positive moves,
right,
like that proposed U.S. Senate stablecoin bill.
And various state-level efforts, too, right? Things that are lending more legitimacy to the whole crypto space. Builds confidence.
Precisely. Analysts are pointing to factors like those stablecoin flows, generally positive financial conditions. They're suggesting this rally might actually have stronger legs than past peaks.
Less like a meme-driven frenzy, maybe. More, deliberate.
Feels that way. More deliberate, yeah. It suggests a potential shift in market dynamics. But, as Bitcoin celebrates, another corner of the market is, well, hurting today.
Oh, boy. Okay, on the flip side then, if Bitcoin's the high.
The SUI network took a major hit.
Yeah.
We're seeing reports of a pretty significant exploit.
Oh, no. What happened?
It sent prices for tokens on SUI-based protocols, things like LFI, HEPPO, and CEDIS on the CEDIS protocol. DX absolutely plummeting, over 50% down.
Over 50%. Wow. And CEDIS protocol, that's a DEX, right? Just quickly, what's a DX?
Right. DX stands for decentralized exchange. Basically, it's where people trade crypto directly on the blockchain, peer-to-peer, without a central company holding their funds.
Got it. So the exploit targeted CEDIS protocol, a major DX on SUI. How bad was the damage?
The scale is really concerning. Estimates are floating around over $200 million drained in total value.
200 million.
Yeah. And a big chunk of that, around $60 million in USDC stablecoins, was reportedly bridged out.
Bridged out. What does that mean exactly here?
It means the attackers moved the stolen funds off the SUI network itself. Specifically, they transfer them over to the Ethereum network.
Why do that?
Well, likely to make them harder to track, harder to recover, maybe mix them up. The suspected technical cause looks like an Oracle-related vulnerability.
An oracle. Can you break that down briefly for us? What's that in the blockchain world?
Sure. In simple terms, an oracle is like a bridge for data. It's a service that feeds real-world information, like asset prices, onto the blockchain, so smart contracts can use it.
Okay.
So an oracle vulnerability means there was some weakness in how CEDIS protocol was getting or maybe processing this external price data, and, well, the attackers exploited that weakness.
Right. And the team's response.
They've paused the affected contracts, they're investigating.
Yeah.
But it's just a stark reminder, isn't it? Even as parts of the market mature, like Bitcoin, these technical risks in DeFi are still very, very real.
That's a critical point. And, tying it back to the positive side for a second, that regulatory clarity we mentioned.
Yeah.
Sources highlight its potential impact beyond just, legitimacy for Bitcoin. That stablecoin bill, for instance, could potentially unlock trillions in demand for U.S. treasuries by making stablecoins a really seamless on-ramp.
Trillions. Wow. How would that work?
Well, think about it connecting crypto directly to traditional finance infrastructure like treasuries at a potentially massive scale. It's a glimpse of where this tech could integrate, maybe even stabilize things, boost dollar stability, and modernize payments.
That's fascinating. It shows how this tech can enable such different outcomes, doesn't it? From, potentially bolstering traditional finance like that to enabling these really high-yield strategies we sometimes see.
Right, like our sources also touched on platforms, Pendle and Morpho, allowing users to potentially earn significant yields, sometimes around, 36% APY on stablecoins.
Yeah, that just shows the range of practical, or at least potentially practical applications being built out there. High risk, sometimes high reward.
Okay, so let's quickly wrap up this deep dive then. We've got Bitcoin hitting a huge new record, seems fueled by big money ETFs, with maybe some clearer regulations on the horizon.
Yep, the big high.
But simultaneously, the SUI network suffers this painful exploit, really highlights the ongoing technical risks, especially in decentralized finance.
The big low.
And looking forward, that regulatory clarity could have enormous implications, maybe bridging crypto and traditional markets in ways we haven't fully seen yet.
Lots to watch.
Definitely. And hey, don't forget that quiz question we kicked off with.
Yes, the price.
Before we reveal the answer, please help support this deep dive the free way. Just rate, like, and subscribe wherever you're listening. It really helps.
And jump into our growing community over on Discord. Ask questions, share your thoughts.
Okay, ready for the answer. The specific new all-time high price for Bitcoin mentioned in our sources today was $109,400.
$109,400 it is. Hope you got it right.
And finally, here's a provocative thought for you to chew on. We're seeing Bitcoin reach new highs, possibly on stronger foundations, analysts say.
Right.
While at the exact same time, we see a massive exploit like the one on SUI. So does this juxtaposition suggest these kinds of exploits are just, painful growing pains, part of the journey to market maturity?
Or
Okay.
are they maybe inherent, perhaps unavoidable risks that the crypto ecosystem must find a way to live with or truly fundamentally overcome?
Something to think about. We'll catch you next time on 5 Minutes Crypto.